Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the financial jargon. Today we're looking at Cayson Acquisition Corp, and let's just say their latest report is a bit like a surprise party with some guests you definitely weren't expecting. So what's the big news? Cayson Acquisition Corp, or SPAC as they sometimes call it, has filed a Form 8K, which is basically a current report for significant events. The most important update here is about a merger agreement they had, and they've just amended it. Think of it like signing a contract, then realizing you need to change a few important details, and they've just told everyone about those changes. This report is dated September 11th, 2025, and it's all about changes to a deal they announced earlier back in July. First off, let's get the basics down. This is Cayson Acquisition Corp. They're incorporated in the Cayman Islands, and their stock market file number is 001422280. Their main stock symbols are CAP-INU for units, CAP for ordinary shares, and CAP-NAR for rights. They're registered with the Nasdaq Stock Market LLC. It's interesting to note their ordinary shares have a very, very small par value of just $0.070000 in public through a SPAC, and it's more of a legal formality than a reflection of actual value on its own. Now, Cayson Acquisition Corp is calling itself an emerging growth company. This is a classification for newer companies that allows them to have some flexibility with how they report their financial information and comply with certain regulations. They've checked the box indicating they are indeed an emerging growth company, but they have not elected to use the extended transition period for newer revised financial accounting standards. This means they'll be adopting new accounting rules as they come out, which could mean more upfront work for them, but also potentially clear reporting down the line. The core of this report is under item 1.01, which deals with the entry into a material definitive agreement. Remember that merger agreement we talked about, the one Cayson Acquisition Corp, or SPAC, entered into with Mango Financial Group Limited, also known as the company, along with Northwater Investment Group Holdings Limited and Mango Temp Limited. Well, they've officially amended it, and this amendment is a pretty big deal. The most significant change is to the merger consideration. This is essentially the price the SPAC is agreeing to pay for the company it's merging with. Originally, this was set at a hefty $300 million, but now with this amendment, that figure has been slashed down to $140 million. That's a massive reduction, more than half of the original deal value. This could mean a lot of things. Maybe the original valuation was too optimistic, or perhaps the financial health of the target company isn't as robust as first thought, or it could be a strategic move to make the deal more palatable given market conditions. On top of that, they've also changed the earnout shares. Earnout shares are shares that are given to the sellers of a company after the merger, but only if the company hits certain performance targets. The original deal had 4 million earnout shares. Now that number has ballooned to 20 million shares. This significantly increases the potential payout to the sellers if the company does well in the future, but it also means more dilution for existing Cayson shareholders. It's like saying, if you hit these goals, we'll give you 5 times more bonus shares than we initially planned. This could suggest the sellers are pushing for a larger stake in the future success of the combined entity, or that they believe these future targets are very achievable. The filing also includes a lot of important legal disclaimers and information about where shareholders can find more details. They mentioned filing a registration statement on Form F4 with the SEC, which will include a preliminary proxy statement and prospectus. This document is crucial for shareholders as it will lay out all the details of the merger, allowing them to vote on it. They encourage shareholders to read these materials carefully because they contain, and I quote, important information about the proposed business combination and related matters. They also talk about who might be considered participants in the solicitation. This refers to the directors and executive officers of both Cayson Acquisition Corp and the company. Essentially, they're letting everyone know that these individuals might be influencing shareholders to vote a certain way, and that more information about them and their potential interests will be available in those upcoming filings. This is standard practice to ensure transparency and prevent any conflicts of interest. Now we get to the forward-looking statements, legend. This is a standard but super important part of these filings. It's a disclaimer that basically says, hey, we're saying some things about the future, but we can't guarantee they'll happen. They use words like anticipate, believe, expect, and plan to talk about the expected timing of the merger, the benefits of the merger, and the combined company's future results. But here's where the risks come in. They warn that things like not getting shareholder approval or not being able to achieve the expected benefits of the merger due to factors like the amount of money left in their trust account after shareholders ask for their money back could cause actual results to be very different from what they're predicting. They also mention that the announcement of the merger could affect their business relationships and operating results. So while they're optimistic, they're also being upfront about the many things that could still go wrong. Finally, under item 901, they list the exhibits filed with this report. The key exhibit here is Exhibit 2.1, which is the actual amendment to the merger agreement. This is the document that contains all the fine print of those changes we discussed. They also have Exhibit 104, which is the cover page interactive data file, usually embedded in the document itself. So what's my take on all this? The big story here is that drastic reduction in the merger consideration from $300 million down to $140 million, coupled with a massive increase in earnout shares. This signals a potentially significant shift in the deal's dynamics and valuation. The reduced upfront payment could mean the acquiring company, Cayson, is getting a much better deal on paper, or it might indicate that the target company's prospects have dimmed. Or maybe the sellers are really confident in their future performance to take on more risk via earnouts. The increased earnout shares from 4 million to 20 million is also a huge red flag or a huge green flag, depending on your perspective. It means the sellers are betting big on their ability to hit future targets, willing to trade immediate cash for a larger potential future payout. For Cayson's shareholders, this could mean more dilution if those targets are met, but also a potentially more valuable company if the earnout performance is strong. The fact that they're an emerging growth company is standard for SPACs, but their decision not to delay adopting new accounting standards is noteworthy. It suggests a commitment to transparency, but might also mean more adjustments are coming. The forward-looking statements are packed with the usual caveats, but the core risk they highlight is the success of the merger itself and the realization of its benefits, which heavily depends on market conditions and the target company's actual performance, and the target company's actual performance. In essence, Cayson Acquisition Corp is trying to close a deal at a much lower price than initially planned, while the sellers are taking on more of the future risk by accepting a much larger earnout. This is a high-stakes negotiation playing out in public. Whether this is a smart move to salvage a deal or a sign of underlying trouble for the target company remains to be seen. It's definitely a situation worth keeping an eye on, especially for Cayson shareholders who need to evaluate if the new terms still make sense for them. What's your take on these massive changes to the merger agreement? Do you think this is a good deal for Cayson, or is it a sign of trouble? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more corporate deep dives. And don't forget to join our Discord community, linked in the description, for more discussions and insights. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.